keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time, and I am super excited for this one because Alex mock draft is on the way.
It's on the way. It's here. We got good stuff coming. We don't have necessarily a Stephon Gilmore trade coming because I wasn't aware that I could pull some shenanigans like that, and I was thinking inside the box instead of outside the box, and I won't ever make that mistake again.
I live outside the box.
You do, and I need to start doing that a little bit more, but it's fine because I still feel really, really, really good.
And you should.
About this draft.
Yeah, 100%. I got a little glimpse of this draft, and it is very good. So I'm excited to see the reveal as it gets going. And just comment on it because it was fun.
Yeah, let me know as we're going. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We'll start this thing off. Okay. Pick 3. It's obviously a quarterback, unless you're one of those people who thinks it's Kyle Pitts. It's a quarterback for me.
Aleem McNeil.
I'm not horse, man. I'm not going to O-line or D-line there. I love my O-line and D-line, and I love Aleem McNeil, but it's not Aleem McNeil, unfortunately. Listen, it's going to be one of the 3, right? It's one of the big 3. It's Lawrence, it's Fields, it's Wilson. In my last mock draft, if you watched it, you know that I took Justin Fields at 3 because Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence went 1 and 2. And in this draft, not so fast. Zach Wilson falls to me at pick number 3. And oh, was I a happy boy with Zach Wilson there at 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting. I mean, this guy fits the bill of what needs to be to run Kyle Shanahan's system.
Oh, yeah.
The quick release, the way he can throw, off balance, off platform. I mean, he's great. He can do everything you need to do in the Kyle Shanahan system, so I don't think anyone bats an eye if Zach Wilson's the pick.
No, not even a little bit. And Zach Wilson is the guy that I want. I think the ball flies out of his hand. I think he's the most ready quarterback in the draft, other than probably Trevor Lawrence. And even then, I'd say there's an argument to be had about which guy is going to be a better prospect or which guy is going to be more ready on day one. And the situation that they're going into is completely different as well. You have to factor that in. Where Trevor Lawrence is going to be in Jacksonville and where Zach Wilson would end up if he came to San Francisco. Those are completely different scenarios there. And Zach Wilson is set up for success if he's in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan. So this right here, it is an A+ PFF. But it's not just an A+ because you say so. It's an A+ because, man, oh man, does this solidify the quarterback position for the 49ers for the next, as you said, 15 years.
Yeah, it's exciting. If you can lock up a guy like this, you are excited. I think we'll be excited for a couple of the quarterbacks that could go right here. But Zach Wilson ultimately is the guy that we prefer, to everyone else. Super exciting. And you're right. Just the way the ball explodes from his hand. Whew, I can imagine it right now. Wilson to Kittle.
Oh, yeah, Wilson to Kittle. It's a nice one. It's a nice one. It's great to think about, and it could be coming to San Francisco soon. So Stay tuned, folks. The draft is close. It is so close. Next, though, with all the moves the Niners have been making, it's one of those things now where before I was pretty sure we're going to trade up or maybe even go a certain way. I'm not convinced. I don't believe that to be the path the Niners are going to take anymore. And because of that, at pick 43, there were some trade options there.
Ooh.
That's right. You heard me. Trades. And because there's trades, that means there are moves to be made and picks to be garnered and opportunities to stock up. Absolutely stock up. So, with pick 43, the Miami Dolphins really, really wanted a guy. They wanted to come up from pick 50. And you know what? I'm all good with that. However, they didn't have 3 guys within the top, 100 that I was kind of looking to. Kind of like how you did. You got 3 in the top 100, then you got 1 just outside the top 100. I wanted 3. They didn't have 3 to give. They had 2. I'm okay with taking 2, but that's not okay if that's just it. So I made them give me a round 3 pick in 2022, which you hope is going to be a better pick because you hope that the Dolphins don't turn it around.
Right.
And so I was able to get all that for pick 43. Dolphins made their selection, and then at pick 50, I was able to select an interior offensive lineman. It's not Wyatt Davis, unfortunately. He went at 35, which is part of the reason why I didn't take him at 43, because he went really, really stupid early. And so with that, I was able to get another interior offensive lineman. It's a lineman that we took in our mock draft 4.0, Landon Dickerson from Alabama. Great talent there. Guy who could play easily inside, center, or guard. He could be your center of the future. He also could be the solution at right guard if Daniel Brunskill doesn't work out. Solid take there. I know what PFF gave me. Who cares? He shored up the interior offensive line, which I think is a big question for most 49er fans. I think it's a guy that Shanahan can develop and mold, and that our O-line coach gets to work with and trying to figure out if he can work in the system. He gets to learn from Alex Mack in the process if he is your center of the future. And we got one other additional pick in the top 100 in this draft, and a third rounder next year.
Yeah, I like it. I like the trade back and then still being able to get the guy that you want. But like we talked about on the live stream, when Kyle talks about his offensive linemen, he values offensive tackles, then the center. That's what's so important, is left tackle, then center. And so you're going and getting a guy that could eventually develop into something great at that center position once Alex Mack is able to retire or ready to retire. So it was a great move. And he can add value and can potentially start this year. He can go give Brunskill a run for his money.
Good.
That's what you're really looking for, somebody that could stabilize the right guard. I think me and you were both looking at it that way. You went the center route, which is a great move, and I love Landon Dickerson. So 100%, I would agree with this move.
Yep, and like I said, it was the backup option, right?
Yeah.
Why Davis is the first and foremost guy that you're going after. He's not there. Okay, let's find the next guy on the list. Let's check that box off. I was able to accomplish that, but I wasn't done. I wasn't just going to sit back. I got some draft capital now. I can make some moves, come up, make sure I get a guy that I want, that I really, truly, desperately want. Okay, have to have him. And it's an edge rusher. So I know, folks, trading up for an edge rusher, not the most popular thing in the world, but you can get excited because here comes the graphic. It's a trade. And not only is it an edge rusher that I like, it's an edge rusher that you've already taken in both of your mock drafts. It's now an edge rusher that I have taken in both of my mock drafts. And all it cost me was pick 102, 194, and 230. So 3 picks in this draft, yes, but only one of those picks in the top 150. I feel that is a freaking steal for grabbing this man. And at pick 67, I was able to take Joe Tryon out of Washington.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, this dude is a beast coming off the edge. He's a great player from the University of Washington. He opted out, and he plays in the Pac-12, which I think are going against him as far as, the production and just what people see of him. Not a lot of people watch his film, but he has great hand placement. He's somebody that could develop into a fantastic player. Second favorite pass rusher in this draft behind Jalen Phillips, and you got him all the way there at 67. What a great move. And you didn't have to give up a whole lot. You gave up a 3rd rounder, a 6th rounder, and a 7th rounder.
I will take that any day.
I'll live with it
for that talent. Yeah.
100%.
And that was the thing, right? Like I could have waited a little bit longer, but it was just one of those things sitting there. He could have gone at any minute, and I was certain that I could make that deal there and not have to give up too much capital because of who Texans had already gone with in that mock draft. And so I pulled the trigger, just like, you know what, let's just get this thing done. It's not going to be a popular pick, maybe amongst fans. It may not even be a popular pick amongst PFF, but I love it. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters to me in my mock draft, is the fact that I think this guy can have an impact day one in San Francisco, and I think he can.
And when you're a GM, you just got to go with your conviction and what you believe. Don't care what anyone else says. That noise doesn't matter. I'm glad you stuck to your guns and went and got your guy.
I try my best, man. I try my best. Up next, big-time cornerback. I wanted Paulson Adebo, but again, he went stupid early. I'm talking like 5 picks after this early.
Wow.
He went real quick. And I was a little stunned by that because I was expecting him to go into that 80 kind of range, and he went early. And so I was sitting there going, I don't know how much longer I can wait to take a corner that I want. Luckily, I had a pick coming up at 81. I was hoping it was going to be Paulson Adebo, or I was hoping sitting there at like 80, maybe I move up 1 spot or 2 spots in order to get him. Not at 80, but actually at 80 because I wanted to make sure I got him. But he went really early, like 5 picks after that. Wasn't about to make a move for that. So you know what? It's fine. I'll sit tight. I'll grab the next best talented, not receiver, but cornerback on the board that I'm absolutely a fan of. And the more film I watch him, the more he's climbing up my boards. And that is Kelvin Joseph from Kentucky. Freak athlete, can do a lot of things in space, has a lot of upside, could be a big-time cornerback for the 49ers in a few years. This is definitely someone that you're going to sit probably at the beginning of the season behind a guy like Emmanuel Mosley on the opposite side. Could even be behind K'Wan Williams in the slot if you want him to be. You can play a lot of different spots. He's got a lot of things he's got to clean up, but the freak athleticism is going to help against all of these wide receivers in the NFC West.
And you had to add a corner, and you did. You added a very talented corner, maybe one of the most talented corners in the entire draft. A lot of people don't understand how good he is. He just got technique things he needs to work on. And once he cleans up those technique things, he's going to be a very good player in the league. A situation where he can sit behind Jason Verrett and Emmanuel Mosley for a year is just what he needs. And then eventually he could step in and be a nice starter. But if you do have an injury, you can put him out there, and he's not going to be a complete dumpster fire. He's going to be out there getting as much done as he can.
Correct. Accurate. And I absolutely love it. And we don't want dumpster fires out there in San Francisco.
No, we don't.
For the love of God. For the love of God, no Fitzmagic torching us because we got dumpster fires out there playing DB. All right, look. Got to start getting some offensive weapons, right? This is where I feel is the time it needs to start happening. Right in the 90s to 100s. I didn't want to trade up because I saw there was a lot of guys there, some receivers there. There's still some tight end talent that I like late in the draft. And I was thinking, I could hold on to one of my late picks and take one of these guys here because they're just going to be a developmental guy anyway. They could probably still make the roster, especially at the tight end position. However, I got to pick 117, saw this name and was like, I can't hit the button fast enough to take him. Tommy Tremble out of Notre Dame, sitting there at 117. You got him earlier in yours.
I did.
He fell in mine, and boy, was I a happy camper about that.
Yeah, I would be excited too. I mean, right there at 117, what great value for a player that can do it all. He can block, he can catch, good in the receiving game, but not great. Somebody that can improve in the route running and then could be something elite. I mean, if he was a great route runner, this guy would be a legit second-round guy. And, I mean, the blocking is at another level. So you just added a big-time player to the 49ers. I'd be excited about this pick for sure.
Outside the top 100, too, which is even better because he's probably a top 100 player.
I agree with that.
And, yeah, he does a lot for the offense, the dual-threatedness in the run game. He's not as big of a pass-catching threat right now in terms of route running, but in the red zone, he's definitely going to be a problem. You pair him up with George Kittle, pair him up with Jalen Hurd. Oh, my Lord, NFC West, you better start worrying. I would be. I'm sweating bullets of excitement right now about it. Jesus Christ, it's just a mock draft. My word. Next, 155 was my next pick. I wasn't going to sit pat. However, I had to sit pat because the guy I wanted, Amari Rodgers, went really, really soon after this. So now I was kind of in a boat. What do? I want to go receiver here. This is the spot to target it. Got to about 126. Was about to hit the pause button. I'm like, nah, I'm going to let it run one more. One more team, because this is around the area that Marquez Stevenson usually goes, and that's the next guy on my list that I'm big on. And he went at 126.
Oh.
It was heartbreaking. You should have seen the look on my face. It was literally just like I'm going to get Marquez.
Ouch.
Wow. Just wow. So I wasn't going to make a dramatic move here. There wasn't really anyone else that I really, really, really was in love with there. Amir Marset, the guy that you took, had just went as well. Amari Rodgers is gone. Marquez Stevenson's gone. And I'm just like, just going to sit pat and see what receivers are there. And I'm kind of glad I did because I was able to snag Cornell Powell there at 155. That's not a bad take there.
No.
He's not the same type of player. He's more of a physical kind of receiver. You had brought up in your mock draft that he has some issue with separation maybe on the outside. Probably true. But he's going to be more of a number 3 option anyway. He'd be looking to kind of take over and not so much the Kendrick Bourne role in terms of the fly sweep action stuff, but in terms of just a possession receiver you can throw out there in space, catch some balls on third downs, red zone situations. He's a really, really good target. He was a great target for Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. Can be a great target for Zach Wilson in San Francisco. Solid pick at the receiver spot here at 155. I was happy that he was there. Not happy that I didn't get the guys that I necessarily wanted a little earlier, but completely content with him here at 155.
Yeah, he's a good route runner. He has strong hands. He makes good receptions. I mean, he never really drops balls, and that's what you really want out of this guy.
Especially if he's replacing Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, his speed and stuff tested better than anticipated because I think a lot of people thought he was kind of slower. But he's somebody that is definitely interesting as far as possession receiver and red zone threat. 100%, he's a guy that you need to add because, like you said, you lost Kendrick Bourne. You need somebody that can fill that role, and he could do it in that area.
Absolutely. He's not going to do it on the other stuff. But that's why I was going to go receiver again with my very next pick. I wasn't going to sit pat. I wasn't going to sit around and not take another receiver, especially if there was one there, and there was. It's your favorite guy in the whole wide world. It's Shi Smith at 172 from South Carolina.
I do like that one.
And he just makes sense for the 49ers. He really does. Same system as Deebo Samuel. Deebo has nothing but praise for the kid. He loves him a lot. He thinks he'd be great in San Francisco, and I agree with Deebo, and I've watched enough film of him now that if he is sitting anywhere after 150, man, that is a great spot to take him. Great value, can add a lot to the offense, and can be a guy that can do the fly sweep. Everything else that you kind of need in a receiver, he can do it.
Underrated as far as contested catches. Does a really good job with that.
Extremely underrated.
Yeah, more athletic than you would think. He makes tough catches, one-handed catches, all that stuff. And not because he wants to do one-handed catches, because he needs to do one-handed catches,
True.
Which is very important. This guy jumps off the screen, so much so that he's definitely one of my favorite receivers in the draft. And I think that whoever gets him is going to be really, really happy. And I hope it's the 49ers, so I'm glad you chose him.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make people happy, you know what I mean? Then I had one pick left. I was sitting there at 180. I had a guy in mind. Had a corner in mind because I wanted to shore up the corner position. I didn't want to take him at 180. I could have taken him at 180. But at this point, I figured why not try and get some additional capital in the future. I know who my guy is. I know where roughly I can get him. Why don't I make sure I get him, but also pick up something for the future? And so I made one final trade. And with that trade, I ensured that the 49ers picked up a 2022 fifth-round pick on top of moving back to 193, so back 13 spots. So now you picked up an additional third next year and an additional fifth, which means you have some capital if you want to come up as well in next year's draft and try and shore up some positions if there's someone you really like in the draft. And with that pick, I chose a corner who's got a lot of potential if he can stay on the field. One, Mark Gilbert out of Duke. Now, some people may say and go, oh, I don't know about this here. That's iffy. He's being taken at this spot purely as a developmental piece. This is me believing that the Niners are comfortable running with Emmanuel Mosley, K'Wan Williams, Jason Verrett. You got Kelvin Joseph. Those are going to be the guys that are probably getting a majority of the snaps this year. And this guy's sitting pat, developing for the future a year or two from now where he can potentially step in and take over and play. It's not a terrible pick here. I missed on the guy that I really, really wanted in Paulson Adebo. I wasn't going to reach on Benjamin St-Juste in the 90s in order to accomplish getting him. I was looking at that cornerback board and going, you know what? I could take a flyer on a guy late, grab some additional capital. It's not the best thing in the world, but at 193 sitting there, it's a really solid pick for the 49ers and adds some more depth to that cornerback room.
Yeah, all ACC defensive player in 2017. Darrelle Revis's cousin.
It's true.
He's a big-time talent. He creates turnovers. He's somebody that definitely you want to take in this range because he has a lot of upside and could be has a lot of potential and could be a big-time player. It all comes down to can he stay healthy.
Yep.
And that's why he's in this range. If he didn't have the health concerns, he would be way up the board.
Be third round, second round.
Oh, easily. And the only reason he's not is because of the health concerns. And I think that once, everyone's comfortable with that, yeah, this would be a hotbed for him and 100% a great pick.
And bulky, that's how you do it. When you take flyers on who are guys who have been injured, you do it at 193. You don't do it at like 120, my guy. What are you doing? Don't screw it up for Jacksonville. Learn from your mistakes. Take some advice from me because apparently I'm a wizard at this. They gave me an A for my draft. I appreciate it, PFF. They're definitely the bastions of everything. In one of my drafts, it's not like they let me trade up with a team and then trade back with that same exact team for more.
They definitely did.
Yeah, they did. It was great. It was wonderful. Yeah. And I had me questioning whether or not PFF knew what they were doing with their draft simulator. But hey, they've had a lot of success. I'm not here to judge. I appreciate you making me look like a draft genius. So thank you, PFF.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, though.
It was a great draft. Overall, you got all the players that you needed to get, that you wanted to get. You hit, positions of need, and then also took best available player, which that's what you're trying to do when you're trying to build for the future. And I thought you did a good job of making sure you got everyone at the certain spots that you needed to get them, strategically moving up and down and grabbing players. Good draft.
Hey, I try my best. And at the end of the day, too, you can tell there's a big difference between mock draft 1.0 of mine and 2.0. Linebacker was a position I targeted heavy, and one going up for Zaven Collins. Didn't do it in this one. Passed up on Nick Bolton and on Jamin Davis.
Wow.
I was actually proud of myself for doing that. Could have taken them early in the 40s because Nick Bolton was actually sitting there at 43.
Wow.
I was kind of surprised by that. Jason Owe as well was sitting there at 43.
Wow.
That's nuts.
That's tough.
That was really, really hard not to take. but it's why I made the deal back that I made, because I knew someone was going to come up and try and get a Noe or a Bolton, and Miami actually ended up taking Bolton with that pick at 43, which is why I was able to pick up that additional third-round pick. I tried to get the second-round pick first, and Miami was like, look, bro, we're already giving you 2 picks in the top 100. All right, let's just slow your roll. And I was like, all right, fine. Give me that third. So I was glad they did that with me. Made me feel good. But no, that was really hard because I really wanted to go after both those guys at 43 because they're steals there at 43.
Yeah, it's hard to know when to go up, when to go back. But yeah, you did a good job. And I think it's interesting kind of the similarities between our drafts as far as the first time we both went up in the first round. In fact, Horst did as well.
He did.
And then now, me and you both traded back. It'll be interesting to see what happens because, I think there's a certain way that we're seeing the draft kind of being manipulated by the 49ers in the way that they've picked people and the way that they're going to end up drafting.
Absolutely. Let me know, and let Ant know too, what you thought about my draft in the comment section down below right now. Chat, light it up, rip me to shreds, or tell me how great I am. I would appreciate the support, the ego boost. It'll make me feel better about myself. But we want to hear from you. We want to know what you thought, who I missed, who I should have went after, or if I took someone that I never should have even considered drafting. Let me have it down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, join Michael Alanis and the rest of our great 49ers Cutback community, and be a member of this channel. Hit that subscribe button if you want to be here on draft day.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel, help us out. Also, we just want to have you on board. That way you can click the notification bell and find out every single time we put up a video, which this week is all the time. So make sure you're here for all of that. Make sure you're here for draft day. Join us for all the live reaction, all the commentary on what happens when the 49ers make their picks. You want to be here. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And we're going to be hanging on the edge of our seat, wondering if the 49ers do trade back up into the first round, or if we wait until day 2 for some crazy fireworks to happen.
Don't think that neither one of us wants the Niners to trade back up into the first round. We would love it if they would do that and go after Zaven Collins. We just don't think that's in their sights anymore.
Yeah.
The Niners are changing. They're evolving. They're becoming something different. And you know what? That's okay as long as they stay aggressive.
Yep, they got to be aggressive. 100%, no passive. Be aggressive. Get the players you need. Win the championship in the next 5 years.
Do it. We want to see it. Every 49ers fan wants us holding that Lombardi trophy at the end of 2021-2022 season. Get it done, San Francisco. Get it done, Lynch. Get it done, Shanahan. And until then, 49ers fans, you stay safe.
Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.